All right, welcome to Drill Down Earnings. We've got a quick look at third quarter fiscal results from Palo Alto Networks just reported. A business story behind one stock on the move. I'm Cory Johnson, the chief market strategist for the Futurum Group. This is an interesting quarter from an interesting company. Why do we care about Palo Alto Networks? It's one of the largest companies in security, and they've taken a peculiar approach to cybersecurity. In the long history of cybersecurity, there are companies that say, buy everything from us, and other little companies that say, buy the best thing from us. So Palo Alto Networks is saying, buy everything from us. They've got a particular approach. They've made a big bet, and lately, that bet hasn't been going so well. Let's dig into that, but first, Wall Street likes a beat or a miss. This was a beat, I guess, by a little bit, single percentage points, better than Wall Street expected. But let's look at the actual numbers. $2 billion in revenues, that's up 15% year over year. That's good for most companies, not great for this company. Remaining performance obligations, that's sort of how much work they have billed or are about to bill. That up 23%, really good, so that's why they put that in the headlines. But we look a little bit deeper beyond those headline numbers. So again, the revenue numbers, when their predictions for their guidance for the next quarter of about $2.16 billion, that's a little lighter than what Wall Street was expecting. But billings is a number that they didn't put in the headline. They didn't put in the headline because it wasn't great. So I want to get to sort of what they did in billings and how they guided billings. But first, let's go a little bit more some of the, the big important numbers. Operating income, very important, $500 million in a quarter, up 25%, and free cash flow tracking that pretty closely. But when you look a little bit deeper, again, as I said, the billings number, the billing growth hit single digits for the first time, I think, ever for this company, for certainly as far back as I've been modeling it. 3% year-over-year growth in billings. That's just not good for these guys. So when the numbers first came out, the stock sold off big time, down 10% in the after-hours trading. But then over the course of Tuesday, the next day, stock starts to recover. And so you wonder what's going on here. In the long term, of course, stock up 71%. It's a darling of Wall Street. And there is a thought that maybe this approach will work. Maybe this big firewalls and one system to manage everybody's security, and now a big deal with IBM to sell products together and again manage security for companies from stem to stern. That's the approach. And CEO Nikesh Arora on the conference call talked about how in an AI age, it's going to be more important to have a single source of information about what's happening for network security.
As you'll appreciate, AI Access is an overlay product on all of our access stuff. So it's a good thing because our customers say, I don't have to go somewhere else and get something add-on and go make that happen because I expect Palo Alto will have it in 6 weeks' time, so I'm just going to wait for Palo Alto. And those who are keen to deploy sooner, we're able to discuss with them, show them the beta, and continue to have design discussions with them. So it sort of reduces any risk of competitive activity into our customer base where somebody else is providing AI access security on our one. Two, in the case of AI firewalls, I think what is unique is we are possibly the only security vendor which has a native integration. I say native, not on top, but native integration with AWS, Azure, GCP, and Oracle in their public cloud, which means our firewall sits in their cloud. You can activate it from their UI, not just from our UI, and you can launch it natively in all those cloud providers. AI firewalls will be built into that capability so that you get a native capability in most large cloud service providers or a VM that you're going to deploy in your data center.
So maybe the good news, if there is good news in single-digit billings growth, is that there is maybe a new paradigm coming. That's certainly been Nikesh Arora's bet for this company. And indeed, they guided towards an improvement of billings, more like 9% in the next quarter after the 3% that they just recorded. We'll see if they actually do it. And look, the heat's on Nikesh Arora. There's a story in the Wall Street Journal today looking at all of the CEOs of Fortune 500 companies. He's the number 2 most highly compensated guy at $151 million a year. That's right. He made about 400 grand today and tomorrow and yesterday. So yeah, there's some heat on him to actually deliver results. But what's this all mean? What's your big drill down earnings takeaway? I'm gonna have one number that means a whole lot right after this.
The Drill Down is brought to you by Futurum Group, where analysts, researchers, advisors, content creators, and marketing experts help business leaders anticipate and understand shifts in their industries and build strategies to leverage disruptive innovation. With deep analysis, Futurum Group's extensive industry experience delivers reliable research and data, thought leadership, and actionable advice to help you with your strategy and go-to-market efforts. Futurum Group,
So Palo Alto earnings just reported fiscal Q3 earnings. Here's an essential summary. Your drill down earnings takeaway: $2 billion in revenues, up 15% on a year-over-year basis. The remaining performance obligations of all of the work that they think their customers are going to pay them for eventually, up 23% on a year-over-year basis. But billings, I think that's the most important number in this quarter. Billings growth was just light. That's your drill down bite. 3%. That was a year-over-year growth for this company. And I think it's the most important number to keep in mind as we look at Palo Alto Networks results, maybe Palo Alto Networks going forward for their next set of results. All right, thanks for listening to Drill Down Earnings. I'm Cory Johnson at Cory TV on X. Check out Futurum Group's YouTube page, Drill Down Earnings, part of 6.5 Media.